Picture this. You're coming home after a grueling day at work, desperate to relax and share a peaceful dinner with your family, only to be met with chaos. Your 6-year-old daughter sits alone in a high chair, food flying across the table as utensils and dishes are thrown in every direction. The dinner table, a place for family connection, feels like a distant dream. You and your spouse can't even sit down together. Instead, you're forced to take turns eating alone, cleaning up food splattered on walls, and bathing your daughter who's covered head to toe in sauce and noodles. This exhausting and relentless cycle leaves your family feeling drained and hopeless until one intervention changes everything. We often hear about how autism affects social skills, communication, and behavior, but there's another big challenge that doesn't get nearly as much attention: feeding difficulties. Up to 80% of autistic children struggle with some form of an eating challenge, and Gianna Rodriguez, or Gigi, was no exception. Gigi, the second born to Maya and Andre, was perfect. Maya had a healthy pregnancy, seamless delivery, and as soon as doctors laid Gigi on mom's chest, she shared, "A quiet ache stirred inside me." As Gigi grew, so did Maya's concerns. At 5 months old, Gigi wasn't hitting her milestones. And then, at 18 months, after a visit to the developmental pediatrician, their fears were confirmed. Gigi had autism. Before the appointment ended, the doctor handed Maya and her husband a stack of papers with a Post-it note on top that simply said SARRC with a phone number. "That's where you need to go," the doctor instructed. Determined to help their daughter, the Rodriguez family followed that sacred Post-it note and enrolled in SARRC's comprehensive behavioral program. During one session, Maya and her husband were asked by their supervisor, "Tell me about the hardest part of your day." Without hesitation, they exchanged a knowing glance and both said, "Dinner time." In this first video, you'll see 6-year-old Gigi sitting in a high chair eating in the kitchen, completely removed from the rest of her family. You'll see that Gigi barely fits in the high chair, but the Rodriguez used this as their only strategy to help contain Gigi, the food, the mess. Mom places a plate of delicious noodles in front of her, along with a fork. Instead, she grabs the noodles with her hands, sometimes taking a bite, other times lifting the noodles into the air before tossing them to the floor. By the end, her food, plate, fork, and tray have all ended up in a mess on the floor. Let's watch.
Use your fork. More food. More food. More food, Gigi. Thanks for waiting.
Take a moment to consider how many daily interactions rely on appropriate mealtime behavior. Going to a restaurant, attending a birthday party. In fact, mealtime behavior may be one of the most socially significant skill sets a person can develop to support lifelong success. And so the SARRC team conducted a functional analysis to understand why Gigi was having challenges. What they discovered was profound. The issue wasn't that Gigi was a picky eater or simply wasn't hungry. It's that she wanted attention. You see, Gigi's a highly social little girl, but one who has no spoken words. Suddenly, it all became clear. Gigi just wanted to connect and engage during mealtime, but unlike you and me, she couldn't speak to share news about her day. So instead, she threw and tossed her fork. hoping to get attention and interaction. Using some of Gigi's greatest strengths, imitation and social motivation, the team developed a plan. First, they focused on having her sit in a regular chair and remain seated. Next, they worked on keeping her food on the plate. Gigi could still use her hands and even sprinkle food as long as it stayed on the plate. And finally, they targeted small, manageable bites, keeping food in her mouth. The goal was to shift attention away from the challenging behaviors and instead reinforce every behavior we did want to see. With each success, Gigi received the attention she so strongly craved. In this video, you'll see Gigi at the dining room table. No more high chair, working with her therapist. It's early in the intervention, so you'll notice the nanny gently holding the plate while the therapist models taking a bite. Gigi grabs her fork on her own. She doesn't know how to use it yet. She still touches and sprinkles her food, but she is no longer throwing it. Everything stays on the plate, and she takes several beautiful bites. Let's take a look.
Yummy. So, let's eat. 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 Come on, Gigi. Come on. So thank you. Nice eating. Oh, good job taking a bite, Gigi.
Gigi's team dedicated time in every session, sometimes up to 3 a day, providing over 25 hours of therapy each week, gradually raising expectations as she progressed. The goal was to give Gigi as many chances to gain attention through appropriate mealtime behaviors. In this next video, you'll see Gigi and her therapist sharing a snack. They're listening to one of Gigi's favorite songs, dancing together, and enjoying the social connection that snack time or any mealtime can bring. Gigi, now comfortably seated, picking up one cracker at a time, and is receiving constant attention for all the wonderful mealtime behaviors she's demonstrating. Let's watch.
Keep her straight up in the ballet and shakes. In my mouth. Ooh, good one! Yay!
With continued practice and work, dinner time, which had once been the hardest part of their day, became a time of family connection and opportunities to provide Gigi the social connection she'd been seeking. In this final video, you're gonna see Gigi and her entire family eating a meal at the dining room table. Notice the family is eating together at the same time.
You want some? Good job, Gigi. Big girl.
Amazing.
She used her fork.
I swear that's like a miracle. Like we haven't gotten there yet.
Today, the Rodriguez family can sit down to dinner together without the stress and chaos that once defined their evenings. No longer is coming home from work a dreaded and exhausting experience. Family mealtime is now a time for connection, joy, and shared moments. Thank you.